thank you so much for stopping in. The message I have for you today, the channeling I have for you today, it's a continuation of the messaging that I received early January of 2026. So a lot of this started late December, from December of 2025 into 26. This is a continuation of that. But what I want to ask you all to do is, this one in particular is a really important setting up of the information that follows. So really pay attention to this. It's not necessarily just another message. This is setting us up for understanding what's coming, the information they'll be giving to us next. This is the channeling I have for you today. I could find it now. I messed up. Okay. All sits still in neutrality. Everything's there. Everything just stays still until we all know what happens when you put attention to it. All sits still in neutrality. You have a dirt road. You activate, you're on a dirt road, okay? They've talked to us about this dirt road, right? You activate existence to expand your simulation horizon. You are leaving the prison and entering the prism. As you enter and enliven within your simulation environment, you are to experience your many dimensions with a free flow prism that attracts you to the vibrational essence of a color, a frequency, and experience that is represented to you through color, light, and sound. An attraction through the initiation of basic attraction of color, sound, light, and frequencies. Basic attraction creates curiosity. The attraction makes you look towards. Looking towards elevates the attention, which activates a path out of neutrality and into multiple dimension options, giving you access to dimensions through parallel lines, through angles, through swishes, through shapes, cubes, through triangles, through rectangles and parallelograms, and access through transitions between harmony of layers and bends that separate light dimension. Separations that define layers, attractions, and magnetics to component parts that are reflected from the prism. The reflection from the prism is represented as geometry, excuse me, such as access to the Kabbalah tree of life, the flower of life. This represents a blueprint of your relationship with the divine, with you, the divine. A blueprint offering a path of discovery between physical, you, and soul heart, divine. There is a fog of misinterpretation humanity has not gotten past, even though tremendous efforts have been made. Repeated examples have been given to enlighten, only to once again be distorted in confusion. Distortion in religious confusion, the tree of life blueprint, the flower of life blueprint, the geometric shapes blueprint, the sacred geometry blueprint was captured and used for religious manipulation. It attracted the soul knowing in its original introduction as a blueprint, as it was intended. The authorities, humanity, as a collective, selected, repurposed it for their dominance era to capture the individual within a distortion from truth to control. Because it was a choice, therefore, all aligned this distortion into your personal matrix simulation for the learning purposes of dominance and control. Blueprint and prism, layered for clarity and insight. Prism was in place for determination of visible and invisible, a recognition of refraction, a recognition of invisibility, and a recognition of distortions that all branches off into more clarity, more attractions, more curiosities. All the branches. And everything branches off into something else. And these are not all the branches, according to what I understand. All these are points and branches, places to go. You really need to pay attention to this. They all branch, all of this information, all of this blueprinting was given to us, and it all branches off into more clarity, not confusions, more clarity, more attractions, more magnetics, more curiosities. And now they have a list. More enlightenment, more discovery, more underlying truths, more perspectives, aspects, bending, splitting, more shifts, more growth, more formulation, more transformation, revelations, diverse aspects, mind, body, and spirit, more illumination, insights, intuition, divine, more manifestation, unity, triangulation, more off-world agreements, more holograms. All of the disturbances of distortions humanity suffers under in your current time, the ending time of the era of dominance, are coming back around for a perception adjustment and as a magnetism to a correction back to prism. You need to understand the component parts of the Kabbalah tree of life, of the flower of life, of geometric shapes, and sacred geometry. You must understand that these were to be your blueprint. That's it. That's where the transmission ended. So if I'm showing, if I'm doing, leaving my face on the screen, I'll put these up too, but this is a tree of life, a Kabbalah tree of life. I am not familiar with this information. So it's learning information for me too, but so this is the tree of life. This is the flower of life. And then I found this. This is multiple flowers of life. The point of it is everything, every circle, every connection was like a prism. And you would look at the reflection of a spot. And it would show you which way you wanted to go because you knew where you wanted to go. You knew you wanted to go. You've learned this, whatever this is, you've learned something. You wanted to investigate a little bit more. You wanted to learn a little bit more. You wanted to immerse yourself a little more. And as you stood in your blueprint, the magnetism of the prism would make you look towards something. So you would look towards something, and then that would show you where the next path is, where the next place you go is. Anywhere. You can be here, and you can want to go up to here or over here. It doesn't matter. It's your blueprint. This is just, it's what you want to do. This is just a blueprint that gives us a visual of what we really do. We don't walk around in the Kabbalah of life. We don't walk around in here, but that is a blueprint to give us a visual of how we do walk around, how we do move around within our blueprint. It was a blueprint. It was showing us what? Showing us because people need words, people need pictures, people need explanations. They don't have the imagination of how does that look? And they always want somebody to tell them what it is that it's supposed to look like. So they gave it to us many thousands of years ago. And in the meantime, we've been misled in this conversation, but we've been misled between prison and prism. And the other thing that is important to say right now is we are entering a new phase, a phase we should have entered into, according to my information, a phase we should have entered into in linear time. We would have entered this phase that we're coming into now in 2026, 27. We should have gone into this phase probably around the early, 20 to 30 common era. And it was a part of it, part of the misleading were scribes that wrote that some of the mistakes were transcriptions by scribes who repeated the information. They would sit and they would take a document and they would just write it and repeat it, and then it would go to whoever it went to. And the other part was intentional use of incorrect words. So part of it was accidental, but part of it was intentional, which led us through this whole, how many years? If it was 20 to 30 common era, that is 2000. What are we, 2026 right now? That was 2,000 years ago. That we could have gone into this new phase, and we didn't have to go through we would have gone through the learning of the era of dominance, but we wouldn't have had to plod through all of the era of dominance things. We would have learned them, absorbed them in a energetic way instead of having to physically go through it. So here we are now, having the opportunity to reset our thinkings and get onto this path where we have an opportunity now to correct this stuff. What did they call it? Adjustment, a perception, get into a perception adjustment where we understand that we understand that we are divine. We understand that we have a blueprint. Remember, I mean, it's been, oh boy, it's been 6 months since that tagline that I started adding to the front of the video, where it's our blueprint, that we're changing our blueprint. No, it's our blueprint to, I don't know what I say, our blueprint to showing us, it's on the screen. I can't remember anything very much, but it says the blueprint. This is your blueprint for the transition of something. Anyway, that's what it is. We were told 8 months ago, probably, this is the blueprint for your transition, your transformation of your something. That's what we are. That's what we are doing right now. We could have done it 2,000 years ago. We didn't. Now we have an opportunity to do it. And I suspect what I'm receiving right now is if you don't do it now, we have another 2,000 years to go through this. But it's not going to be as pleasant as the last 2,000 years have been. And that, to me, is not pleasant. Anyway, really important information for us. We need to understand this before we move on to the next channeling parts. So take your time to understand it. I'll keep putting the videos out. And if I lose access, I'll do it a different way. So stay in touch with me at TheUnlikelyChanneler. I know this sounds phony, but when you get a complaint and all you do is really simple stuff, something else is going on. Either somebody doesn't like the message, somebody doesn't want this message to go out, or somebody just doesn't appreciate anything. However, I can't even imagine what would make somebody not like a sound frequency video. Where it helps ADHD, where it helps you with stress, where it helps you talk about your heart chakra, where it gives you a vibration, a frequency about whatever, simple stuff, happy stuff. Weird. And maybe it's because we're just not, they don't want this message to get out to the few of you who get it. And that's pretty powerful. It's pathetic because how many people look at a video? 20. Those 20 of you, those 50 of you, those 100 of you have so much power that they don't want you to get this information. And that, if anything, is the message you need and I need, we all need today. So please stay tuned because there is a lot more to come.